The Ministry of Defence has confirmed that Sunday was the busiest day of crossings in 2023. 442 people crossed the English Channel in 10 small boats. And immigration enforcement officers have carried out more than 1,100 raids on suspected immigration offenders after Prime Minister Rishi Sunak pledged to get far tougher on illegal migrants. Since the 11th of December, 1,152 raids to identify those suspected of working illegally in the UK have taken place. This marks a 10% rise in enforcement activity over the previous 5-week period. As ever, lots to get stuck into, and here to do it all is GBNews' Home and Security Editor, Mark White. Mark, shall we start with the small boats crossings record?
Yes, we had word yesterday, actually, of about 380 that we'd known had crossed, but now, clearly, the official figures, it took them a while to get out, but they put them out late this afternoon, 442 people who crossed in 10 small boats. Now, it is really down to the weather that we haven't seen significant numbers crossing really since the beginning of the year. We had 44 people who crossed in pretty bad conditions in one day on the 2nd of January. Then last Tuesday, after quite a long pause, 106 crossed in 2 small boats. But again, the weather is just preventing these criminal gangs from putting the boats out from the coastline in France. It abated enough yesterday to allow those crossings to take place, but still wasn't the best of conditions. And they pushed off from a huge stretch of coastline from Dunkirk right down well south of Boulogne to a place called Brec, 80 miles of coastline. And of course, you've got the French authorities now with the extra money vowing to crack down on those getting off the coast in France. But it's really difficult for them, to be fair to them for once, because 80 miles of coastline, you would need tens of thousands of officers to effectively stop and properly patrol that length of coastline. So they're going to keep coming, Patrick. And yesterday, that tiny break in the weather, it's a bit worse today, so no crossings today. But tomorrow, we're told that there'll be much calmer conditions again in the Channel, and this will be the only day for actually more than a week or more of really bad weather in the Channel. So expect a very significant number to probably try and cross tomorrow.
No, OK, well, it's an interesting warning. I actually have just got back from France, and I, for one, was desperately happy to leave what is undoubtedly a war-torn country. You mentioned as well here some things that we're raiding more people's houses, trying to crack down on people who are working here illegally. Is that right? Yeah,
well, last Friday we were given exclusive access to go out with an immigration enforcement team as they raided a number of businesses in southeast London. It's part of a crackdown. I mean, they're there operating every day anyway across the country, looking for those who are living and working illegally in the illegal economy here, costing the country, of course, billions of pounds, because these people are not, and it's believed that it could be anything up to 1.5 million people working and living here illegally, doing that job and not paying any taxes, so not contributing to the country.
Well, they're taking the cash out of the country a lot of the time as well, yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing, yeah. So these immigration enforcement raids have been taking place, but they've stepped up the number of raids that have been taking place since Rishi Sunak announced on the 11th of December this crackdown against illegal immigration and illegal working here in the UK. So they're ramping up, we're told, these operations, an extra 200 immigration enforcement officers. In addition, an extra 700 Border Force officers are going down to Kent, and particularly around Dover, for the end of this month, when Border Force again resumes overall control of the migrant boat situation. There will be a small boats operational command. They're taking over that control from the military, who have been running it since April of last year. Quite what will be different, I don't know. They'll probably be a bit more efficient. But are they really stopping the boats coming across, or are they just getting better at intercepting the boats and taking the occupants to Kent?
Well, it's interesting stuff. So basically, I suppose your prediction at the minute is that we will see more of these boats coming across in pretty large numbers, despite the money that we're giving to the French.
Yeah. My prediction is we'll see many more migrants crossing the Channel than we did last year, where it was just shy of 46,000. And the only saving grace for this government will be a month like we've had this month and last month, where the weather is just too bad to get the boats across. Because as soon as the weather improves, these criminal gangs have got a ready supply of people and boats that want to get across here, and they'll push them out. And there's nothing I've seen in the strategy being put forward by the government, which is to be more efficient about the way the operations work in the Channel. Yeah, go after the people smugglers, but it's a lucrative business. Many, many millions of pounds can be made in the space of a really busy week. So you take out one criminal gang, there's plenty other bad wrong-uns that are more than willing to get in and take up this lucrative trade. And they're getting very good at it. You know, they have well-sourced supply chains, getting these boats made to order in China, shipped to Turkey, then up to Germany, where the bits and pieces get assembled once they get to France.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's non-stop as a conveyor belt, isn't it? Look, thank you very much, Mark. As ever, Mark White there, our Home and Security Editor, whizzing you through initially the fact that there was 442 people entering the UK illegally on Sunday in small boats. Also, making you aware of the amount of raids that have been taking place of people who they believe are working illegally in the UK. That's 1,152 raids to identify people suspected of working illegally in the UK, presumably, of course, trying to clamp down on that whole network of people coming over here and then getting involved in illicit trades, drug dealing, all of that stuff.